Yo, 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 yo. What's up, you guys? Welcome back, man. It's a good day. Today is Sunday, my wash day, August 10th. But guess what tomorrow is, you guys? Tomorrow is 4 years, August 11th, uh, 2025. It will equal 4 years on my Natty Dreadlock Journey. Um, Thank you guys for hanging out and sticking with me this long, man. It's been almost 4 years of me actually doing this journal, but this is actually 4 years when I decided to start my dreadlock journey. From his taper, fade, had no hair. A lot of people, when they start their journey, they already have hair. I love fro, something, anything, something to bite on, you know. I had nothing, but I started recording. I want to say a month after that decision, 2 months after that decision, and I had some curls in my hair, little curls, but there was nothing to lock in, y'all. But before we get started, let me take you around my kitchen and everything else, as I always do. And once again, hopefully you guys get to see my kitchen uh, as I take you around it. All right, let me take you. I don't know if you guys are seeing this or not, but yeah, it's harder for me to hold it with my right arm. But anyhow, I'm just trying to hope that you guys are seeing this. I can't tell. All right, with that being said, without further ado, let's get straight to it, man. I'm gonna try to make this a one-hitter quitter, like a Mike Tyson blow to the face. What's up to the Clips? Shout out to the Clips, man. They got a great album that came out. Um, yeah, man. Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs got a great album that came out. Great albums. I don't listen to much rap anymore, but when I do, I always drink real hip hop. That's some real hip hop, y'all. I really like that. But anyhow, without further ado, this is 4 years tomorrow. Um, just listen. I'm just going to talk about my journey on this path. Like I said, when I first started off on this, I had about a month, 2 months of growth when I decided to take this journey. And I remember the first year how impatient I was. I was very impatient, wondering if it needs a lock, and thank goodness there's this thing called YouTube where you're looking at me now, and and I started to look at other people's journeys, people who did it, and it inspired me to do my own. Right, so that's why we're here today. But because of my impatience, I was looking at things on how to get your hair started, how I curly hair, because I know my hair, it's nappy, but it's not real nappy. It's not a loose big curl. It's a tight, real spiral curl. I didn't even know what type of hair I have. I still don't know what type of hair. 4C, 3AB. I don't know all that stuff. But I went through it, you guys. I just kept researching. And that first year, I probably exhausted the heck out of myself because of impatience, wanting to rush things. With that being said, as I was approaching my first year, I got my very first lock, like right at 11 months of some change. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. This is it. This is my first lock right here, literally in the middle of my crown, my very first one. And I was on vacation for my son. He just graduated. Him and his friend were with us, with our family, and our homegirl and her family came, and we were just celebrating graduation in Hawaii on the Big Island in Kona. And I got my first lock. You guys, it took me 11 plus, almost a year to get my first lock, and it really wasn't nothing but a little like nub. It was probably like an inch and a half. You know what I mean? An inch and a half, two. You know what I mean? And it was just at the tip. Like if you go review some of my previous videos, I talk about the dingleberry. Oh man, it's like a little dingleberry. It's just a little something. So it probably wasn't even an inch and a half. It's probably the tip of this pinky right here. You know, that was it. That was it. Matter of fact, you probably could see this was the starting point. This little tip right here, this little bulb right there. That was it. That was it. That's the longest lock that I have too. That's the longest dread I have as well. But what's so crazy is, moving into year 2, my hair finally started locking, but not right away. After I got that first one, I was like, I just knew that my hair was about to just start locking. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It took me another year to get my hair fully locked. Another year. And the last lock that I had was this one. This was the last one that came in. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. This is the last one that came in, you guys. And it just was curly hair, like this Afro puff, little curly thing on the side for a long time, man. And I just was like, man, I'm wondering when is it gonna come in. I'm on the internet still. But this time, you guys, I'm still on the internet, still YouTube and still doing things. And I've seen other people with locks, and they got their lock, last part to lock was the front top of their head. And oh yeah, that didn't fully lock either, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, so it was between that one and this one that sort of combined, got real thick and stuff like that. And the whole head of my whole head started locking and stuff. But anyhow, it took me about another year after the first year. So 2 years in, I would say I was fully locked, but it was the super ugly stage. Super ugly stage. And that's when I started to become very conscientious of what I looked like and started worrying about what I looked like. At first, I was anxious to have my hair just start locking. Next thing you know, I became very conscious of my looks. I was still impatient, but more, you know, in my head about the looks of things. That's where I started judging my insides by other people's outsides. And I started to, at that point, I had to decide to not watch YouTube so much and compare myself amongst those who were inspiring me. Time takes time, y'all. That's just really my message for today. Probably time takes time. And, you know, my hair actually started to lock. And then I had to go through this thing because I was so conscious of of my looks. That was the hardest part, and the area in my life where I had the most growth when it comes to my hair, not on a personal level. I mean, the physical was a part of the personal level, but on a spiritual level, I went through other things. But that was the real lesson of acceptance, right? And that was a hard journey, and that's where most of my growth came, and it turned into a spiritual journey. During these years, during the second year, I started to get a little bit more conscious of what I was eating. I started fasting and doing other things like that. Matter of fact, look at my feet. I started grounding. Started doing things like that on my Sunday wash day, except for the winter. I'm in Denver, Colorado. It's too cold to do all that. Not a part of the Polar Bear Club. But I started to grow and started to accept what I was going through, you know? Started to accept these changes and started to embrace the look that I had. Instead of wanting your look, I started to like my look and really appreciate that. Shortly after year 2, I had my first apple cider detox, you know. I posted about that years back. I was all happy about it, hair sticking up all over the place. And I don't know if I really should have did it that early. But I'm still rushing, you know, I'm still rushing. Like, yeah, my hair is longer because it was getting longer at that time, right? But it's still sticking up. But during that 2 to 3 years, there was some more growth. I was wondering, dealing with wondering about my looks and how come mine don't. And that was a back and forth thing probably for a whole year, just to be honest with you guys. Year 3 came. Year 3 this year that that I'm just now about to wrap up was probably my best year so far. Probably my best year so far because I did have acceptance. My hair started growing. I started to see some of the things that I was trying to rush to at year 1, month 3, month 6, month 9, first year, you know, all that stuff, second year. My hair started to fall down instead of stick up, you know, and it started dropping, and everything that I did read or listen to in those videos did happen, you know. It did happen. My hair started to fall. I was in full acceptance of who I am, what I look like, things like that. And yeah, man, it was a great year. You know, my hair's just been growing and growing. Airplane flying over, but my hair's been growing and growing. And yeah, man, this has probably been the best year, but I haven't really worried about my hair as much this year. That acceptance, it took me really 3+ years to fully accept what I look like. Like, ideally, I knew that I wanted to be on the journey, but I didn't know what the journey was going to take me on and what that journey looked like, and I didn't get to determine it. I didn't have a real idea of what I looked like, but I can imagine some people do, because people post things like, I want my hair to look like XX Extension, I want it to look like Wale, I want it to look like this person, YMB, whoever, and all this stuff, you know. People do that. I see a lot of the kids do. I see even adults do it, women and everybody else. You know, you're so used to going to the barber shop and you pick the number 7 on the wall, or you know what you want, bring in a magazine, or, you know, like so-and-so's, you know. And you have this whole imaginary idea of what you want your dress to look like. I didn't really know what I wanted mine to look like. Thank goodness I had a predecessor, which is my older brother. So I knew not to do that, but I did wonder what it was going to look like when it looked like it. And along that way, like I said, a year 2 during that ugly phase, I just knew it was ugly. I just knew it was ugly. That's what I knew. Whew. You know, and today, getting through it, I finally got to a place I'm totally satisfied with the look. Totally satisfied with the look. So if you're just starting your journey, today, just hang on in there. Try to clear your mind of any expectations of yourself or even others, what you think yours should look like, and just embrace where you're at on a day-to-day basis. Just try to stick to today, you know, just for today. Stick to today, you know. I don't know what my hair's gonna look like in a year from now, but I'm looking forward to this year, you know. Yeah. You know, I can't really say what it's gonna look like, but I'm really appreciating where I'm at today. You know, time is gonna time, you know. I just show up, do the job, do my work, and try to focus on my higher power and lead the results to my higher power, not mine. Because when I embarked on this journey, one of the things was I try to control everything, even you know. Speaking of locks, I have what I call Goldilocks syndrome. You know what Goldilocks syndrome is? It's where I go through life and I start judging people. And not only am I judging them, I'm judging myself and comparing myself to them. But if you remember the story of Goldilocks, she stuck her finger in everybody's porridge. Yeah, I like to put my finger in your porridge and judge your life and judge what you doing and stuff. Oh, you know, it ain't me and all that stuff. Fluff up your bed. Oh, too big, too small, all those things. And what I'm really doing is reflecting or projecting on when I'm judging people, what I feel I'm missing inside or what I think I should improve upon. It's called the identification process, the process of identification. Sometimes I don't identify that my jealousy is really an internal conflict that I haven't dealt with. But when people tell me about their struggles and I'm laughing, that's identification too, because I've been there. That's called empathy, right? And on this journey, through this lock journey, I'm just telling you, you're going to have your day too, where you're going to be up one day and everything's going to be fine, and you're going to go down. But just stick with just for the day, and don't worry about tomorrow. You know, you just keep showing up and don't worry about the results, y'all. Keep showing up and don't worry about the results. And try to keep your finger in your own porridge. You know what I mean? If you focus on your life, you know, that's the only one that really matters. You know what I mean? So those of you guys that are struggling today, just to hang on, just remember this. You know, take a little words of the wise. Let me bend your ear for a second and throw that little tidbit in on my 4-year anniversary. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys throughout this year. I will continue. I promise you, I will continue to take you on this journey month to month, usually around the 11th of each month, because that's when I began my journey. August 11th, I made that decision. I do thank you guys for tuning in. I also thank you guys who have been commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing. You know, all that stuff. I do respond. Please do the same thing. Do it down below. Yeah, you know, so I really appreciate you guys. It's encouraging when people write me and you keep me on you know, I can't, it's a we program. It's I promise you, it's I. You know, yeah, that's what it does. It's unity, you know. For you guys don't know what that is, that's unity, but it's unity. Not you, but unity, I. It's a program that I do with you guys and with my other people in my circle in life, and I really appreciate you guys when you guys like to comment below. So I like to always give back words of encouragement, even if you hate me. You know what's so beautiful? I haven't had a hater yet, not once. Man, my higher power's good. I promise you, man. Yeah. So anyhow, this is 4 years. I'll continue to post month to month on the 11th. I do appreciate you guys. I feel like I'm just running along now, so I'm gonna let you go. My name is Not. This is my 4-year anniversary. 2 Stokes, and I'm out.